chặt vô mấy nói chuyện vô nhân quá.
Bruce Lee had a perfectionist spirit. Every task he undertook was carried out with absolute dedication, striving for excellence in every detail and achieving the highest quality in the final result. This passion was evident both in his martial arts and his film career, though it sometimes led to conflicts with those who did not share his level of commitment. During the filming of Fist of Fury, his dedication was clear, influencing his fellow actors to take their work seriously. However, the director did not show the same level of attentiveness, becoming distracted by an equestrian competition while the crew worked diligently. This made Bruce Lee uncomfortable, and he remarked that such a work attitude in the United States would have led to immediate dismissal. Lo Wei, a renowned Hong Kong director and a key figure in the Golden Harvest Company, wielded significant influence. Raymond Chow, the company's head, relied heavily on him. With his established reputation and arrogant temperament, Lo Wei often had his way, leaving few in the cast and crew daring to challenge him. Although he was deeply annoyed by Bruce Lee's biting sarcasm, he had no choice but to suppress his anger, as Lee was both a celebrated star and a formidable kung fu master. Fist of Fury quickly gained immense popularity upon its release, breaking box office records and sparking widespread discussion throughout Hong Kong. During interviews with entertainment journalists, Bruce Lee consistently emphasized his decisive role in the film, implying that it could not have been made without him. This stance left director Lo Wei deeply dissatisfied, as he believed Lee was claiming credit for something that had been a collective effort. Lo Wei confided in some of his friends that, if not for him, Bruce Lee would still be running a martial arts school in the United States and playing minor roles, unknown to the public and far from the fame he had achieved. He felt that Lee was ungrateful and often put him in embarrassing situations, failing to acknowledge his own limitations. It wasn't long before these complaints reached Bruce Lee, who at the time was living in Hong Kong, surrounded by a vast network of friends and acquaintances. In response, Lee publicly mocked Lo Wei, claiming that while he was in the US, the director's films barely made $1 million at the box office. Now, thanks to his involvement, Fist of Fury had miraculously reached $3 or $4 million in revenue. Bruce Lee made the decision to challenge Lo Wei. Once the script for the production company's new kung fu film, The Cold-Faced Tiger, was completed, Bruce Lee unexpectedly announced that he would not take on the lead role. Originally, he was set to be the protagonist, but he chose to temporarily step back, putting director Lo Wei in a difficult position and forcing him to seek an alternative. At that time, due to Bruce Lee's martial arts prowess and immense fame, finding a suitable replacement within the industry was a daunting task. Lo Wei did not fall for Bruce Lee's tactic and refused to apologize or beg. His wife, Lu Yanghua, a seasoned figure in the entertainment industry, traveled to Taiwan and sought out Wang Yu, a famous kung fu star at the time, offering him the lead role in Cold-Faced Tiger. However, Wang Yu was initially hesitant to accept, as he had previously clashed with Lo Wei. To persuade him, Lu Yanghua used provocation, stating that Bruce Lee, from Hong Kong, claimed to be the best in the world, and that while Wang Yu's kung fu skills were elegant, his films lacked quality. Wang Yu, like Bruce Lee, was a martial artist. Upon hearing Liu Yanghua's remarks about Bruce Lee's self-deprecating attitude, he became upset and decided to create a high-quality film to compete with him. Bruce Lee frequently criticized the Chinese martial arts community for emphasizing flashy but superficial aspects. However, he never specifically targeted Wang Yu in his critiques. The movie A Man Called Tiger, directed by Lo Wei and starring Wang Yu, achieved considerable success. It was evident that the intention was to capture Bruce Lee's attention and prove that he was not the only one capable of making kung fu films. This situation disrupted Bruce Lee's original plans, causing him great dissatisfaction. Shortly after, he initiated a new collaboration with Golden Harvest Company to shoot Game of Death. The filming of Game of Death began but was soon halted, an unusual occurrence for Golden Harvest Company. Bruce Lee, filled with suspicion, believed that Lo Wei had interfered by spreading rumors to the executives, leading to the difficult situation he was facing. Reluctant to seek help, he stayed home waiting for news of the project's resumption, growing increasingly frustrated. Not long after, Lo Wei called him, speaking in a tone laced with accusations. Feeling the tension rise, Bruce Lee decided it was time to teach the renowned director a lesson. Bruce Lee arrived at Golden Harvest Company visibly angry and confronted Lo Wei. In front of everyone, he pulled up a chair, sat directly across from him, and began reprimanding him loudly. Overwhelmed by Bruce Lee's intensity, Lo Wei remained silent, his expression stiff and unreadable, like a wooden sculpture. His lack of response furthers frustration, as he believed Lo Wei's poor judgment had stalled the start of Game of Death. After delivering his tirade in Chinese, Bruce Lee switched to English and continued for nearly an hour. However, Lo Wei couldn't understand his American English and was clueless about the reason behind the scolding. Instead, a faint smile formed at the corner of his mouth. Bruce Lee, overcome with fury, acted impulsively. Without hesitation, he unfastened his belt and drew from it a sharp dagger.
Oh no!
Bruce Lee swung the weapon with determination, attempting to strike Lo Wei. The scene caused such panic among the office staff that their faces turned pale, and several employees screamed in fear. Upon hearing the commotion, the company head, Raymond Chow, rushed over and grabbed Bruce Lee firmly from behind. "Didn't you always say you would never use force against those who don't know martial arts? You must keep your word," he reminded him sternly. Still consumed by rage, Bruce Lee retorted disdainfully, "He's not a person, he's scum." However, after persistent persuasion from Raymond Chow and other colleagues, he finally calmed down, stopped brandishing the weapon, and moved to another room with co-workers he trusted more. Meanwhile, Lo Wei, still shaken, wiped the cold sweat from his forehead and quickly called the police, claiming Bruce Lee was trying to kill him. Soon, sirens blared as the police arrived to investigate. However, Raymond Chow had already hidden Bruce Lee's belt, leaving the officers without any solid evidence. They exchanged a few words with Bruce Lee and then left. Since the incident had occurred within Golden Harvest Company, Raymond Chow worked hard to cover it up and downplay its significance. Nonetheless, shortly after Bruce Lee's death, rumors spread about him threatening Lo Wei with a knife and the subsequent police report. This episode marked the final break between the two. Bruce Lee founded his own company, Concord Productions, and filmed Way of the Dragon, 1972, as director, writer, and star. Lo Wei, for his part, attempted to replace Bruce Lee by hiring Jackie Chan to imitate his style in films like New Fist of Fury, 1976, although with no initial success. The incident has been reported by colleagues from that time, such as Chan Wei-man, actor and friend of Lee, although some consider it exaggerated. According to his own statements, he used to train and spend time with Lee and witnessed some of his conflicts, such as the incident with Lo Wei. Chan Wei-man has mentioned in interviews that Bruce Lee was very temperamental when he felt that his art was not being respected. The knife incident involving Lo Wei was real, although exaggerated by the press. Lee did not attempt to physically harm him, but he did intimidate him. What is certain is that their relationship was conflictive, and Bruce Lee did not hesitate to defend his ideas firmly. Lo Wei appeared visibly shaken at Bruce Lee's funeral in 1973, despite their troubled relationship in recent years. His presence and his expression of grief surprised many, as they were known to have had serious professional disagreements and even the famous knife incident. Why was Lo Wei so emotional at the funeral? Although their relationship had deteriorated, Lo Wei was the director who launched Bruce Lee to stardom in Hong Kong with The Big Boss, 1971, and Fist of Fury, 1972. Despite their conflicts, he likely felt he had played a key role in Lee's career. Bruce Lee's death at the age of 32 was a shock to the entire world, including his rivals and former colleagues. Lo Wei, though resentful over their fallout, surely never expected his greatest star to die so young. It is possible that after Lee's passing, Lo Wei reflected on their disputes and regretted not resolving their differences. In photos and videos from the funeral, Lo Wei can be seen with tears in his eyes, devastated, alongside other industry figures such as Raymond Chow, producer at Golden Harvest, and Jackie Chan, who was then just an extra and stuntman. There are no records of a formal reconciliation, but in his final months, Bruce Lee was focused on Game of Death and Hollywood, distant from conflicts with Lo Wei. Over time, the director may have let go of his resentment.
Injury